committee here, and we'll go ahead and get started. If Mr. Jones, if you would not mind to offer blessing and a prayer request, please, sir.
Yes, sir. Got a prayer list. Member of the family of Seth Rogers, Rachel Alvis, father sick, Hope Dillard's husband, Josh, Katie McKinney, her mother-in-law passed away. Any other for prayers?
Yeah, I want y'all to remember Tammy Mofell
Tammy Moffield,
and Barry Davis.
Barry Davis.
Keep my mother, please.
All right, let us pray. Heavenly Father, we come to you this evening to give thanks for another day, and thank you for the many blessings, Father. Father, we ask you to go with us throughout this meeting. Let us do your will. Let us get direction from you, Father, and do what's pleasing to you. Father, be with everyone here, and as we, after the meeting, let us be with you as you go. We travel home and watch over us. Our God and direct us. Christ's name we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, folks, we'll go ahead and move forward. The first thing that I have on the agenda is recognitions of some of our teachers who have retired. Mr. Smith, you take care of that, sir?
We normally in the past have brought teachers in, but we're still a little bit on our COVID protocol, but we want to make sure we recognize the retired teachers from 2021. Miss Janet Bailey. Miss Bailey taught at Smith County High School her entire teaching career for 33 years. And she was, I think we even got some basketball, one of our biggest basketball awards named after her. So she's kind of stayed pillar of the community, and not only there, but you think of girls basketball in Smith County, she comes to mind. So most of us know Miss Bailey. Robert Dillard, I call him Bob, he coached football for several years at Goins. Mr. Dillard retired after 32 years. He worked in Wilson, Putnam, and Smith counties. He has been a teacher and assistant principal. He is still teaching for us on a contract. We get a good deal out of him. We still get him coming back. He's retired, but he's on contract. Miss Allison Carter. Miss Carter has 21 years experience from Smith, and she retired out of Smith County Middle School. That is all at Smith County. Miss Stephanie Johnson. Miss Johnson worked for school system for 13 years. She started the extended learning program. She continues to work on a contract for us this year at part-time. Miss Mahala McCall. Miss McCall retired with 30 years of experience from Smith County school system. She's currently still on the substitute teacher list. She finished up her career out in Union Heights. Miss Ellie Spike. Miss Spike retired from at the time in Forks River. She had 31 years experience, and they were all within the Smith County school system. Mr. Brad Tackett. Mr. Tackett retired with 34.5 years experience. He worked in Bedford, Rutherford, Coffee, and Putnam County before coming to Smith County. He continues also, like Mr. Dillard, we get both of them still back, big part of our math department on each side of the river. Hope they continue to do that. Jenny Webb. Miss Webb retired with 30 years teaching experience. She has worked in Davidson Summers before coming to Smith County in 2008. She still does some contract work with the special education department before still in Smith County. We're honored to have had these people, and still several of them are a big part of our system still.
Thank you, Mr. Smith, and I'm sure I speak for the other board members as well. That's a large majority of a person's life to spent working with our children and trying to help them benefit and move forward in life. And personally, I'm very grateful for that, and I know everybody else feels the same. Thank you, sir. One thing real fast before we go on consent items, I did promise Mr. Shoulders that we follow his protocol, which he's kind of strict about. So, fellas, if you don't mind, let's shut them down through the meeting here. We'll move next to our consent items. The first one is the minutes. Do I have a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to group all the consent items and vote on them.
Can we do that since one of them is a request to purchase and it's going to be an expenditure?
Yes, sir, if it's a consent item.
All right, so we have a motion to approve all the consent items. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, since we're spending some money, we'll take a roll call. Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Apple?
Yes.
Mr. McHale?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. All right, that'll bring us down, and thank you for doing that. I like that when we can kind of get through those consent items in a hurry. That'll bring us down to Mr. Smith, the superintendent. Action, sir.
I'm sorry.
Superintendent actions.
Yeah, they're in your package. If you get any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
Everybody had a chance to look that over. You have any questions for Mr. Smith about his?
So we're gonna have the advertising on the next agenda?
That'll be on the next one there.
Yes, sir. That'll be a line item, correct, ma'am?
Do you want to as a discussion?
Yeah, it's a
Discussion.
Okay,
Mr. McHale, that'll be a line item, sir.
thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Make a motion to approve the superintendent's actions.
Second. Not necessary, but
Not
since he's made
necessary.
one.
Superintendent action is not necessary.
All right. Unfinished business. The very first one here we have is the approval of the Bipolar Ionization project. And I have the floor open. Anybody wishing to speak?
Well, yeah, I'll speak. We've heard from a representative here, and, we've been kicking this around a little bit. I still believe that we ought to do it. He answered the questions that I had to ask. My main concern was to make sure that it met the 867 standards or the UL 2998 standards for the ozone produced, and he said that they're running at 5 parts. Less than 5 parts per million, billion. And of course, the safe level is 10 parts per billion. Now, I know we've had several discussions about this, and it looks like there's only about 2 ways we can go around this, because the way my amendment to my motion read was, I amended my motion to have the state comp controller's approval. And that's how Mr. McCallum seconded the motion. That's how we voted and passed it. And correct me, Jamie, if I get to the point where I'm telling something that's not right here. So, the state comp controller did not approve it, nor did he disapprove it. So the way this reads right now, it's still out there in limbo. So either we have to go back and we'd have to either reconsider this motion and re-vote on it, or I can make an amendment to this motion, and we'll still have to vote on it. So keep in mind, with whatever I'm fixing to say or do and vote, if it fails or passes, if it passes, it's great. If it fails, you still can't do nothing because of the way the motion is amended until the state comp controller tells us, yes, you have my approval to put it in. I don't think legally we can still put it in. Or
Under the motion.
Other than another motion. Other than another motion.
Again, the motion that passed, or the vote that passed, was including an amendment from you that says pending approval from the state comptroller.
Yes.
That's the vote that passed.
That's the motion that passed.
However, Mr. Winkler, bring us up to speed again, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to be redundant, but he's neither approved nor disapproved. So we're kind of sitting in the middle of the yard, so to speak.
Yes.
So I can probably make an amendment to my motion that I'd like to amend this motion that we go ahead and do the bipolar system without the comp controllers. Is that the way this goes?
Yes, you
Without
can-
the comp controllers.
You can amend something previously adopted, and if you wanted to make a motion to amend what you previously adopted, absent that condition of that approval, that's the motion you could do.
And I think we're gonna have to try to take some kind of action because this is just gonna sit here. So I would like to make a motion to amend my motion to take out the state comp controller's approval for this and go ahead and do this.
All right, we have a motion, and everybody's heard it, and he's right, this is laid here a long time. I'm gonna second that so that we can have discussion if there is any.
What exactly was the state comptroller? What exactly have they said?
Mr. Winkler.
They have effectively told us to exercise caution in purchasing this and submitted that letter that the board has received. Mr. Smith asked the direct question, are you telling us we can or we can't? And they will not provide an opinion when they're ready to go.
Okay.
So
Was
they have not raised, this, the way it was purchased was dependent upon that it provides energy efficiency. And if that's calling into question, I don't think that they're going to give that approval. Mr. Jones, I'm sorry.
You answered it.
Further discussion.
And the data that I basically go over, because you're sitting in the room right now, this building has this system in it. And y'all seen the test results in Mr. Towns' office, I think this conference room and the break room maybe?
Yes.
You've seen the data before they put the system in, all the mold, pollen, or whatever was in the air, and then they provided you the test they did after the system put in, about 30 days roughly after. All the levels had dropped, and even the mold had even dropped. So that's what I based my decision on, was
There wasn't no ozone data.
yeah, that
No,
that
no
that
ozone
that and it was certified by somebody out of Illinois, and then I think Indianapolis somewhere to do that. And I asked, like I said, I asked him, wanted to make sure of all the research that I've tried to do online. Of course, there's good and there's bad, but he answered all the questions for the ozone produced.
Can I say one more thing? Am I allowed?
Yes, sir, please.
The way it's written up there, it calls the technology bipolar ionization, which is correct in a way. But bipolar ionization has been around since the 1800s. It's the old technology I was telling you about. Has the glass tubes. It has a high energy. It creates ozone and other byproducts. And Charlie Waddell, our founder, left that company to start this company, and our product is needlepoint bipolar ionization. So what the comptroller was referring to was the bipolar ionization products. The needlepoint bipolar ionization does not produce ozone or have any of those byproducts. We have proved time and time again. So if you look at the recommendations now from CDC, from ASHRAE, from Department of Education, and from EPA, they all say, and I can give you all those links, we have them. If you're going to use an ionization product, just make sure it's UL 2998 certified.
And these are.
And the needlepoint is, yes, all of our products are.
The ones in this facility right now are.
Absolutely, yes. And I can send you those certifications. I can send you the links from EPA and Department of Education and all that if you'd like to see those. But their only recommendation is if you're going to use ionization, use a product that's UL 2998, and we are. So essentially they're recommending us because we're the only product in this category that all their entire line is UL 2998.
Mr. Winkler, can I ask an ignorant question? If I ask one, it's probably going to be ignorant, so I'll just preface that remark. Did we ask the wrong question of the comptroller? Well, we asked him, we asked the comptroller's office about the bipolar ionization air purification system be approved. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about needlepoint.
Needlepoint bipolar ionization.
So did we ask the right, I'm wanting clarification in my mind, did we ask the right question? Tommy, am I making sense?
Yeah, you're making sense. Did we ask the right question of what
Of we're talking
what we was
about?
wanting to put in?
He came to us. I mean, there wasn't no question at that. Now, when Jamie went back to him, I can't answer that. That's what you bet. He ran us down, so that's when we felt compelled to tell you.
No, I
Yeah,
understand.
they came to us.
I understand about
But you're asking what we asked him back.
Yeah, unless I'm lost somewhere, there's been communication back and forth since then, and they've not approved out of the way, but did we ask the right question? Or were we talking about apples and apples or apples and oranges?
Well, we're talking about the same thing that, what's your name? No, girl.
Amy.
Amy. Who was it you was talking about last week why they was doing this, why the letters was sent out, and who worked there. And
I said that I would bring a representative from the manufacturer that has those answers, and this is who I brought.
We've been, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
We've been round and round with Nashville. Paul Cross, who's head of EESI, which is Energy Efficient Schools Initiative. They were formed in 2008 when the lottery was passed to help the schools spend money on certain things. So they were going to be getting this influx of money. Paul Cross, for some reason, sent out a letter that one of our competitors put out saying that our product, that these ionization products create byproducts. The study was wrong. We pointed out, we had a response to that open letter that I sent to Paul Cross right after he sent it out, and I said, would you just please send our response, because they were referring to the ionization products, not the needlepoint. He would not, for some reason, send it out. So we went back and forth with them. We talked to the comptroller's office. The comptroller has said, just like, I'm not going to tell you which product to go with. That's not my deal. But I'm not going to not approve needlepoint ionization as long as it's UL 2998. So we've had meetings. We've got another meeting set up in Nashville on October the 20th with Paul Cross and Department of Education. Several state senators, state reps are going to be there to get all this clarified. And all we asked from the beginning was send out a response so we could point out that they were not talking about our technology. But they refused to do that for some reason. But there's been several other school districts in Tennessee that have put in our technology. It's been approved, it's been paid for with no issues whatsoever.
What other districts?
The summary you submitted to us says bipolar ionization. Smith County Schools, January the 19th, 2021.
And that was probably something that we did at the very beginning of all this. We're an implementer, we're not the manufacturer, so we're not the brains of this product. This guy is the brains of this product.
That's generally what it's referred to. Needlepoint, again, is what we do. Charlie Waddell, our founder, the guy that left the other company, he has 32 patents now on this technology. He has 22 patents pending. So we have 70-75% of the ionization market now because of the way we produce the ions and we don't produce these byproducts.
Do you see any chance of newer technology? I mean, I know that's like asking, is there going to be cars with better fuel mileage, but do you see it getting better eventually, the technology for this process?
Oh yeah, it's always going to get better. I mean, we're developing new products now. We've spent over $10 million this year just on testing. We just got our testing back for influenza A, influenza B, RSV, all these different products, all these different bugs that we're testing for. And we're improving our technology to where we can, just one little thing, like these SARS viruses that are out there now, like COVID, we found out, or the CDC has found out, that all these viruses have a slight positive charge. So when our negative ions are in the air, Charlie describes them almost like heat-seeking missiles. They're attached to those SARS viruses very quickly, and they deactivate. So that's why we've been, in the White House, in all these different industries. We're in over 2,000 K-12 schools now. We're in the Mayo Clinic, Cleveland Clinic, Boston Children's, all these big hospitals, because they know this technology. And we're not saying we're a silver bullet at all. It's all part of a layered approach that you take with hand sanitizing, with social distancing, masks, all those things. But you got to have something that can help. Over 90% of the infections through COVID have been through airborne. It's not touching the surface. So with our product, you have these positive negative ions that travel with the airflow and can attack these viruses in the air. And that's the approach, that's an addition to what else you're doing to help kill these viruses in the air.
So what districts in counties are using this in the state of Tennessee?
Shelby County, Memphis, put it in back several months ago, first of this year. Oh my gosh.
And I've sent a list.
We
to
sent a
Mr.
list,
Smith.
yeah.
I forwarded that to y'all.
What does this equipment look like? I mean, what are,
I've got it.
what are we
out in the car. I can go
paying
back.
to, I know, but what is
It's
it?
just a small unit that has brushes, carbon fiber brushes that come out the top, and one set of brushes produces positive ions, and one set of brushes produces the negative ions. So it's attached right into your HVAC system. The airflow takes the positive, negative ions with the airflow into the space.
I know, but how could it possibly cost $350,000?
Well,
I mean,
every
that's-
HVAC system.
Every HVAC's gotta have it in
Every
there,
HVAC system
right?
has to have a unit, yes.
So your classrooms with
And
GP
so how many have we
tax,
got? I mean, how many?
Mr. Smith, did you get a list of those schools and districts? 'Cause
Can I what, Randy?
Did you get a list of those schools and districts?
I don't have any. I don't got a list.
Okay, I
I got
guess
a list.
maybe
I got-
your
I got
junk
a
mail,
list.
but I've also sent it
Yeah, I
to
didn't
another
get
board
anything.
member, so
That's
he
right.
said he forwarded it to everyone else.
How many of those
I have
units
right
do we
here,
have?
I'll be
Do you
happy to
know?
share it.
Gentlemen, please, just for a second here.
How many?
Now, she sent an email, and I did forward it out to everybody. Now, she has it right there. Well, I sent it all to y'all's text message response, but, ma'am, if you would like to provide that, please.
I'll be happy to.
And I'd like to add that the state comptroller's office is not gonna recommend to you what product to use, and that's basically what you've asked of him. That'd be like asking him, should we buy a Ford or a Chevy, to your point earlier.
No, I think he's a misunderstanding, because they came to us. We didn't ask them for a recommendation. They came to us when they found out the bid.
We got kind of the
Not
nasty
bid,
grant.
but,
Did they come just to Smith County?
I can't answer that, but they came in this office right here. Matter of fact, quite honestly, we weren't easy to find for about 3 days. And he finally walked in, remember the day he walked in and caught Norma and I both right there. And I tried to pin him down and he wouldn't say, he said, we can't tell you who to go with. I think his exact words were, you need to take a look at other companies. So,
Can I make a comment?
Yes, ma'am, please, while she's looking
The
at it.
guidance from ESSER funding keeps repeating over and over and over, any purchase over $10,000 needs to go through the bid process. And that concerns me, because if we purchase this system and they come in and do an audit,
My only question to that, in response to that comment, was why were we not told that when this vote was taken unanimously?
Yes, and we was told that we'd piggyback it off of our,
and that's, yes.
and that's when we went through Jamie and he thought
And if
maybe
it's
to the
energy
special.
efficiency, you don't have.
I think, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong, and we're just going round here, but I think that the comment that I made when we first received a letter from the comptroller, I think Mr. Winter, and I'm paraphrasing, obviously, because I don't, but I believe I asked you, have we done anything illegal? Have we violated any laws? Have we done any of those things? Your response was no.
The letter from the comptroller has to do with the quality of the product.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to do with how you apply it.
So,
But the letter forwarded by the comptroller, it wasn't authored by the comptroller.
that makes sense. I guess what my point was, it went through and we hadn't violated anything.
yeah, why are we talking about this right now?
I understand. Ma'am, if you've got that information pulled up now.
When we had talked last month, I think you guys requested that I bring the ones that had been installed, purchased and installed post this letter and this comptroller issue. And those that I have, we've actually installed Hancock County Schools here in Tennessee. Washington County Schools, which is the Johnson City area. And then the Bristol, Tennessee City Schools have also done all this. Like I said, post all of these letters that have been sent and emails that have been sent and visits that have been made to school systems. And then, of course, we'd also talked about, it's not in Tennessee, but Atlanta, Georgia, Gwinnett County, which are, like I said, large systems. And I have provided emails and telephone numbers for each one of these districts that I've mentioned, because it was requested that you guys may want to talk to them prior to today's meeting.
Washington and Hancock County, is that the only two?
And Bristol City Schools.
That they've installed,
You made a good point.
that y'all installed.
Well, we've installed Hancock
They
County.
did.
These others have been done by other companies. But this same PPS product.
And then Shelby County School System, is that what you said, sir?
Yes, Memphis, Shelby County Schools in Memphis, and, Gwinnett County, Cobb County, Fulton County. We have, like 130 out of the 190 school systems in the state of Georgia, have installed it. Gwinnett County's, they've been installed for over 10 years. And Mark Lord is the director of schools, he'll talk to you. They love the product, they've never had any issues. They look at absentee rates, they look at infection rates, they look at all those things. K through 12 schools is by far our biggest application, even above hospitals.
But you're not, and for clarification, just so everybody's on the same page, you're, I believe the word you used was silver bullet. You're not implying that this system is a silver bullet. You're implying that it is one more layer to the layered approach of maintaining a grip on COVID, correct?
Absolutely, yes, absolutely. There was a recent study that was just finished by Auburn University and Maxwell Air Force Base went together. They wanted to find a five-prong approach to attack the COVID in the buildings. They did that. They did their studies. They applied it in all the VA nursing homes in the state of Alabama, and they had real high COVID rates after installing our technology along with the 4 other steps, which were social distancing and masking and all that. They've had close to 0 cases of COVID in the VA nursing homes in Alabama over the last 8 to 9 months. And they've written us a testimonial letter. I've got several of those I can send to you about how the infection rates are so much lower since they've installed our technology.
Jim, this is kind of where, this is sort of where I find us to be. We voted on this as a board and passed it, and now we're back here revisiting it because of numerous questions that were well-based, without a doubt. You raised some very interesting reports, and there were some things in the EPA and all that stuff that brought concern, because we all know the face of COVID and the byproducts and everything go along with it have changed over the months. You're hearing discussion back and forth. You know, here's your opportunity again to ask questions and things. We've drug this off for some time. Would y'all agree?
I agree. And my question is, I had thought we'd already put this in over the summer.
Me too.
People was asking me in the community, I said, yeah, we put all this in over the summer.
Me too.
And then we come back school year and I find out we didn't put it in.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, what?
I'm not gonna lie to you, I made the same comment.
Yeah.
I thought we had.
Yeah, because we voted, listen, we were sold a bill of goods. We sold it. We had a meeting in January, Tennessee School Board Association meeting. It was highly recommended that we done this. We took action the next month. We done it. We approved it. Why hadn't we installed it? Why are we talking about this right now?
That's the comptroller had.
Because your motion was pending approval of the comptroller, which you amended tonight,
Right.
Who knows?
because he wouldn't get on either side of the fence.
We don't know.
So that's what's brought you back here tonight, pending approval from the state comptroller. But now your motion and second is purchasing it regardless.
Correct.
Can I make a second on that, Mr.
He's already
Already
made
made one.
Who did?
I did.
to go ahead.
I
and
made a second,
purchase
so we
this
have some
without
discussion about it,
thinking.
resolve this, get on with it.
Let's take it.
I mean, guys, I don't know if this is the best thing in the world to put in. I don't know. Time will tell. But at the time, I think we ought to do something, and I thought it was irresponsible for us to do nothing. And you answered the 2 questions that I had. And all of my little Googling I've done over the past week, everything, there's good and there's bad, but everything I was looking at was bipolar, which you were talking needle. But everything I referred to was said, make sure it was certified by either these two standards, and you're certified by the latest standard, which is the 2998. It's safe.
Now, again, just for clarification real quick, this is not money that's costing, this is grant money, correct?
This would be through the ESSER.
Grant.
Which has already been approved for
But
this.
I mean, the point where I'm headed at, that just so everybody understands, because it's been a while since this came about, this is not something that we're asking the citizens of Smith County to pay for. This is ESSER money, grant money, whatever. So, just want to make that clarification, because it's been some time since this first came around. Let's go down the list real quick and see if anybody's got, Mr. Glover, you got any questions you'd love to ask?
I have no questions.
Joe, do you have any?
I'll just
I just wanna know what it looks like. I know it sounds crazy, but I wanna know.
You got one out in the
I
car? you
wanna know if you can haul all this equipment in the backseat of a car.
Yes, sir, run and get it
or if
right quick.
takes a- I
I
mean,
got a picture
I
already.
think
You
if
know,
you,
I
I
just
think you
wanna
could
know
do
what we're
that,
buying.
you know, let's just try to put this thing
You
in
wouldn't go
business.
buy a new car
Brochure's
without
got
looking at
pictures,
it.
But I can go get the actual
No, I
product.
just
Joe,
wanna see
run and
it.
get it
I
right
just-
quick.
Here, Mark.
Joe wouldn't buy a truck without looking at it, so we'll get the truck in here real quick.
I mean,
Go another page, see if they got it. There you go. Now we're getting into the,
Second.
you don't pass that now.
yeah. Look at that. It's got,
While we're waiting on him to bring that, what is the warranty with this? I'm sure is there a warranty with the,
What's the yearly maintenance cost on it?
well,
There is no maintenance.
No,
but the warranty, I mean, is there some kind of,
And it's been a minute since I looked, I believe it's 5 years, but I'll verify it.
okay.
They made it longer since we started talking about this in January.
well, they gotta get in.
Getting it.
you gonna buy a car, you gonna look
So,
at it, wouldn't you?
you just said you made it, y'all increased the warranty on it, is that what I heard you say?
I don't
Yes,
know what it
the
looks like.
manufacturer did, and I believe it's 450 units is what,
Yeah.
to answer your question earlier.
450 units,
Yes, sir.
450
That's,
units.
I think that's the number that's on the. 450
Yeah.
You guys.
But some of them strips that goes on the
The Joe,
walk-in, the wall. Some of them be put
Yeah,
up.
same time.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
what did you, ma'am, could you say again, what the warranty presently,
3 years.
3 years now?
There's different ones for each different unit, but there's your points, positive, negative, there's your brushes. This little thing right here spins,
The
and it
units
cleans
are
those
sized
brushes.
by tonnage.
So that's why there's no
and that's-
maintenance, because there's no brush to cut.
Come on down through here and show
So it just
everybody.
hooks up to air.
And what does it do?
There's zero monthly maintenance cost.
Yeah.
Or yearly maintenance.
Positive ions.
They're all-
And that, these little deals right here spin.
They're all auto
Every so
self-cleaning.
often.
So they, like this small beer has a wiper
Dust
blade
off of it.
that rotates every 3 days,
I'd
keep
go
the
down
brushes
to-
clean.
Show them.
That's only maintenance we recommended prior, but now we have this auto clean system, so there's no maintenance.
But
And
it's
that's what
split.
we'd be getting.
And like I
That's
said,
good, you'll show.
No maintenance.
depending on the tonnage of each unit, depending on which.
Will they be issued according to the size of a room, or does that pretty well do, is that a universal fix?
It's by the tonnage of the HVAC
Of the
unit
HVAC.
that's attached on.
So like that system here treats up to 6 tons or 2,400 CFM, and this unit treats up to 12 tons or 4,800 CFM. And we have another unit that goes larger than that, pretty big system.
Todd, I'm sorry, 3 years warranty on the one that we're talking about,
Yes,
only 3.
yes. But you know, we've done, we have less than a 0.1 warranty rate, and we're on a lot of the airplanes, the airlines use our product to keep the cabins of the planes clean. All the airlines are required to do mean time between failure testing, and we have all that. All the airlines that have tested our product, the mean time between failure, the lowest one has been 12 years.
All right,
There's
so
really
that,
nothing to go wrong on.
and I want to recognize him just a moment, but I do just for clarification, what is the average lifespan of the unit that we have looked at for this school system? The average, I'm not talking about, I just want to know the average lifespan,
Average is 10 to 12 years.
10 to 12.
Yes.
All right, Mr.
I
Clay.
got a question.
Okay.
In my research of some of this stuff, I've noticed that there's several lawsuits still pending against certain companies for this. Are y'all in the midst of any lawsuits with
We are.
companies?
The lady, the competitor that came out with that open letter
Mhm.
that said our product produced byproducts, she had been, works for one of our competitors. She'd been warned several times, so she'd made several statements, general statements about bipolar ionization, and everybody kind of lumps all those technologies together. So she came out with this open letter saying that they tested our product, that it produced these byproducts. It was 2 graduate students at Illinois Tech University that did the study. It came back that, again, there was byproducts in the room. And we have that study we can give to you. The byproducts that they found in the room were over 100 times less than the OSHA allowable limits. And they were talking about formaldehyde and some other things. But they were 100 times less than OSHA allowable limits. But we have sued her now because of that open letter, because it's cost us some business.
Wait, stop just a moment. You're not, I want to clarify that. You, and I don't want to get too deep in it, but if I understood you right, you filed a lawsuit against them, not
Yes.
vice versa.
Yes.
Has
Okay.
they filed a lawsuit, has anybody filed a lawsuit against y'all, is what I'm saying?
Yes. There was it was based on the open letter. There's a single homeowner in Maryland that bought one of our products online, put it in his home. He admits for the express purpose of filing a lawsuit. He then referred to the open letter. He filed a class action lawsuit. It's called a putative class action lawsuit because there's only one person. This was about 6 months ago. No other people have joined the class action suit with him. It's still the one guy. He's done this 2 other times. It's almost like one of these McDonald's hot coffee things.
Yeah.
He's done this 2 other times. It's been thrown out of court. So we filed for that to be dismissed.
The ones that I've seen has been the larger companies like Boeing. You've been talking about airlines and stuff. Like, is y'all's product the same product that's in Boeing, and then they're going through that lawsuit?
It said that they were cited in the Maryland gentleman's lawsuit. It says the Boeing study has been cited in a federal lawsuit filed by a Maryland consumer against Global Plasma Solutions.
So yeah, he referred to a study that Boeing put out along with this open letter that our competitor put out. But no, we don't have any lawsuits with Boeing. We have a lawsuit against a competitor about the open letter. Then we had a lawsuit against us by the homeowner that put it in his home and said it was producing all these byproducts based on the open letter.
Okay.
And obviously you're not under a cease and desist order from any court, any jurisdiction anywhere in the United
No,
States
not at all.
to cease installing dates.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Mr. Taylor?
Nope.
Questions? Mr. McCausey? Mr. Apple?
Called one thing one meeting, one thing another meeting. I said, you got a comptroller that knows more about it than we know about it, that doesn't approve it, but doesn't disapprove it. You're talking about spending $350,000 on something that's been brought up that if COVID hadn't been around, you would have never heard of it. It's not a quick fix, it's not a cure, it's not a preventative. It does, like he said, it's just a bad tip about masks, hand washing, vaccine. I think it's an unnecessary expense. I don't think that it's gonna do what they claim it's gonna do. I'm not saying that they're not telling the truth. I'm thinking that it's just, I think it's gonna do this in this situation, it's gonna do this in this situation. I think probably what I read, climate affects it, humidity affects it, we're in a very humid climate.
Humidity does not affect it at all.
I ain't got that with me, but if I should have printed it off.
Yeah.
It's under excuse me, it's under the EPA. You can look it up, you can Google it.
Yeah, well,
Sure,
some of the
Tommy
old-
read that one too.
Some of the old bipolar products that have the steel
Well, you
needles.
calling it needle point now, it's gonna be crochet next month. I don't know what it's gonna be.
I think it was an oversight, it was just one word missing.
I mean,
It
I've-
wasn't intentional.
But I'm
And this is
telling-
something that was
told-
approved unanimously previously, and the only thing that's changed now is a comptroller. It has nothing to do with the amount of research you've done now that obviously wasn't done prior to the first unanimous decision. So unless
Well, I
all
was
of
going
the
by what,
information you're sharing
I
now
was
is coming from
basing
the comptroller's office.
I was basing everything on what I was being told by y'all on the front end, and was good with that until the comptroller, and then I got to investigate on my own and looking at things, and it's not the silver white wedding that it was put out to be. I mean, it's got good points, it's got bad points, and all I was hearing was the good. He said he doesn't produce ozone, I believe him, but I haven't seen that in writing. I mean, that's all I got.
Okay. Ms. Jones?
Let's vote on this.
All right. Everybody good to go? You've got a motion and a second. Would you please reread the motion since this thing has gotten kind of like a plate of spaghetti over here?
Yes, he would like to amend the previously adopted motion absent of state comptroller's approval and go ahead and do this.
Does anybody need it reread?
We're voting either to do it or don't do it, right?
His
That's where you're
motion-
standing, yes, sir.
His motion is to do it. So when you're voting, the motion is.
The vote, the motion is either gonna pass or fail. That's all.
So to clarify the ones that don't know, yes means you're gonna get it, no means you're not gonna get it.
Correct. All right. Mr. Jones?
No.
Mr. Howard?
No.
Mr. McHale?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes.
No.
Wait, I didn't.
Wait, hold on.
Joe?
No.
No.
Yes.
No.
I'm gonna vote yes.
1, 2, 3, 4 no's. 1, 2, 3 yes, and we have an absent.
And 5 votes has to change. Don't it?
Yes.
So it stays like it is.
Where does that put us?
It stays like
Does
it
it
is.
fail?
Sir,
Does it fail, or does it stay like it is, or where does it put you?
his motion to amend fails, but the original motion stands.
Does motion stand?
Could you clarify, what does that mean, Jamie, that if they,
That if the comptroller were to issue that approval, we would move forward.
They've got to initiate approval of the system before we go forward.
How much longer can that money stay tied up without somebody making a decision?
We need to move on it. I'd have to look at the date and come back and let you know. This is ESSER 2 funding. Do you remember the date, Mr. Smith?
Jamie, if the state comptroller, let's say, lifted that, changed their stance, that doesn't necessarily have to come out of ESSER, is what I'm saying. We could take it out of the general fund.
There was no part of the motion that said it came out.
We could still purchase it. It'd just be that we've got a point on ESSER, we've got to move on as far as getting it approved,
Well, I
whatever we do
think-
with the money. But
I don't
that's not
want-
to say you still can't buy it and buy it out of the general fund if the,
I don't think it's the intent of your motion, was it? I don't put words in your mouth, but
There was no part of the original motion that it was, had to be purchased through the ESSER fund.
all right, can we do this then, just so that we're making some kind of, I feel like I'm pushing a boulder, so that we're making some kind of progress on this. Would you please, sir,
will what, sir?
would you please redirect a communication to the comptroller's office?
We've actually done that today, so we're waiting on right now.
With the explanation of this product specifically is what? Needlepoint?
Yes. Needlepoint bipolar ionization.
So that we know that we're all talking about apples and apples, won't be fair and honest with everybody. And then I'm gonna ask for this to be on the agenda next month for resolution one way or the other. Fair enough, everybody? Because we've been swatting this thing since, what was it, January? All right. Folks, thank you for your patience and information and understanding and the work that you're doing, and for coming back in front of us again. More than one said that they'd hoped that y'all would be here tonight, so thank you. And you're welcome to stay. And watch us maybe hopefully not pull our hair out on anything else. All right. We are next on new business A, if I'm correct. If I'm incorrect, somebody please tell me after that.
That's correct.
All right, new business A, subject is request to purchase 65 phones through EN8 Internet Service. You've all had a chance to look at this. Do I have a motion on new business A?
So moved.
And a second?
Thank you, guys.
Okay. One can I ask for discussion?
Well,
You gotta have a
we to
second before you.
before you have a discussion.
And you can,
Who
you can
made
make,
the motion?
you can
Mr.
make it for the
Outley.
sake of this discussion.
I second to speak on it.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Mr. McHale?
Mr. Jared, what's the use of these phones gonna be used for?
It's actually their intercom system at Smith County High School. Each room has what they call a phone in it. It will cost them a little more for a few months, but then it cuts their bill in half then for the lifetime of the phones. So within a year, they were more than recouped. Or they've got to have an intercom system. It will be all funded by Smith County High School.
Was this a bid process, or was this just, how was this coming
This is
about?
a government, through the ENA government service, so it doesn't have to be bid.
I've got
So
a
what's
question.
what's ENA stand for? Do you know?
Bonnie, can you answer that? Norma, I don't know what it
Yeah,
says.
I don't know the acronym, I don't know what it stands for.
Is it not, all I'm getting at point is it something that DTC is doing wrong, or are they just being hired than these people?
Well, we get a cut rate as being a government citizen, and we get refunded on our internet service, so everything we get is a discounted through them. I can't tell you, Bonnie, can you answer that more when we went? Dusty, our principal's the one done it, it was the cheapest.
Is this for just Smith County only?
Yeah, this is Smith County.
I've looked it up a little bit. The ENA is based out of Nashville. They got a place out of Nashville.
They give us a lot of money, so I like them.
And my question is have we contacted DTC to see if they would match it?
Yeah.
Or, what's the service times? Is there longer service time with ENA than it is DT? Because when I can call DTC and they can be at my house 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
We can-
I'm
we
just
can-
wondering,
I
We
do
can
know
get
we
it.
get our internet.
cheaper's not
through
always
ENA.
better when it
Do
comes
what?
to
We
internet.
get our internet through ENA. I don't know if we have to use ENA, so I don't know.
So we get
I
our
know
internet
that
here.
Mr. Whitaker felt like it was by far the best deal. He didn't tell me. He said this
For the
explained
whole
to board.
county.
Yeah.
Is there any way we can, Scotty, you'll have to help me, but if we
Well,
wanted.
we're gonna split services then, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not technology
Me
enough
either.
to know how this works, so.
We have somebody here that, if Mr. Whitaker,
Well, I'm gonna have him here to explain. I asked him, we didn't feel like the need, he'd have been here tonight. I saw him right before the meeting, but he'll be happy to come and explain it.
If we did go with ENA, would they be willing to waive the setup fee considering we do?
ENA we already use.
Yeah, we already.
ENA is our internet system. here in
Everything we've
Smith
got's
County.
within
Yeah.
All they're wanting to do is change the phones from
DTC
DTC to Bell. He want to go to Ma Bell, ain't he?
The what?
He's want,
No, go to ENA internet.
Said the cost of the phones and Bell system.
Our base internet service is all with the ENA.
Internet.
My question is where we use ENA already, would they be willing to waive the setup fee to get that service?
where is this setup fee at?
I don't know. I'd have to look, see if they're with her now. But he said it will cut
So
their
the total
rate.
cost of phones are approximately $4,615.
But is that the setup fee, or is that just the cost of the phone? I think that's just the cost of the phones.
Would they be willing to waive that to get that business?
Is there that many phones?
I mean, they've already got the internet business.
You've already got
Correct.
that.
So to keep that business, would they be willing, I'm just saying, I
Yeah,
mean,
negotiate,
yeah, negotiate.
and maybe have DTC, I'm just throwing out there, have them a chance to look at it too.
Can DTC, I mean, I don't know, we're gonna start talking about air purification again. Can DTC provide the same internet service that ENA does since it covers the entire school system?
No, because they got the bandwidth.
I mean, to
I don't
me,
know.
you're going from one provider in one school to another provider in another school, when it's a.
Well, no, you still got the same internet
Hold on a
provider as
second.
ENA.
Everybody's still using ENA and internet. They're
Exactly.
using
Still using
DTC
ENA,
on
it
the
don't matter
phone
what
service,
provider
not
you get.
internet.
Yeah,
Correct.
They're wanting to go through ENA
To
get
get
the
the
phone.
phone
to
service.
get the phone service.
Correct.
So
Basically, they're
I'm like
intercom phone
Marty,
service.
has anybody called DTC and said, hey, can you lower your price on your phone
I
service?
I don't want to speak for him not being here, and I should have more information, but I'm sure he's talked to everybody, but he needs to come and hear it out.
it does.
He said it cut his phone bill in half.
Somebody
Yeah,
make a
he's done
motion,
that.
puts this on the agenda next month, have
I make a
principal
motion to
here.
table this.
I
till
second.
next-
I'll have Mr. Whitaker here the next meeting.
We got a motion, a second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
He was second. I got Tommy made the motion to table, Marty.
Thank you. All right, new business B, the general purpose budget amendment. Y'all have all had an opportunity to look at this.
Make a motion to approve.
Have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
All right. And we're just making an amendment here, so I don't have to do a roll call, is that right, Mr. Attorney?
Correct.
All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, new business C, the one-time COVID-19 appreciation bonus. All of you have had a chance to look at that, and it was discussed in a work session.
Was we not gonna let him come back? Well, this was the bonus money, wasn't it? This wasn't the 10.
It is, the one-time COVID-19 appreciation bonus is the topic that was in your work session that we discussed.
What are we doing here?
I'm just, you're smiling, but I mean, it is what we discussed, so.
I know it is, but.
It is. Anybody want to make a motion or do anything, have some discussion on this? Let's get this thing out of the way. We need to make a decision. Gentlemen.
I'll tell you what, I will. I think we need to look a little further in depth, and like in the work session, I don't believe we should use ESSER money to do this. So the option that I'm gonna put out here is, and y'all can vote it down if you want to. I think if we're gonna do a one-time bonus, let's place it on next year's budget, in the budget for next year, where we can go ahead and plan for it. And that way, we wouldn't have to go back and amend our budget for this year. I'd like to put, if we're gonna do a one-time bonus, that we put it in the next year.
There was debate in there about holding off of the bonus in order to try to provide long-term pay raises
There
as
was.
well.
I was waiting for somebody else to bring that up.
Well, nobody's going to, so I'm going to. Anybody want to discuss that? Mr. Glover?
Well, you know, when this was first brought up, when I first brought it up, that was, you know, we talked about the 3% raises, and I asked, can we do any more than 3? Well, you know, I'm new here, I'm still learning, but I feel as if we need to get a long-term raise to these people. They work hard, some of them, I mean, they go above and beyond. Then you brought it back up about the bonus. You know, I'm all for it. We need to give them something, some sort of appreciation for the hard work that they've went forth through, especially through this COVID. Some of them were working day and night, you know, watching video. You know, we don't appreciate those people. Principals sitting in their office till 7, 8 o'clock at night watching video to see who was sitting around each other. You know, so my opinion is I think we need to go to county commission and see about getting these people a raise.
So let me understand, you're talking about holding up where we're at right now until January, when budgetary hearings come and go in front of the county commission and
I think
approaching
that would
everybody.
be the smartest part. Let's hold up on the bonus, and let's get these people a full raise yearly, every year.
Will you make that in form of a motion?
I'll make that informed motion that we.
But you already got a motion on the floor.
I'm sorry.
I'll rescind my motion.
That's gone. Thank you.
Need to rescind the second,
Who seconded it?
whoever seconded.
Oh, no, I don't know if anybody ever seconded it. I just throwed it out there.
Mr. McCallum did, I think.
Oh, Mr. McCallum.
Oh, I didn't hear
Yeah,
it,
Mr.
sorry.
McCallum did.
Oh, Mr. McCoy.
All right, so that's been rescinded, so you're
No,
going,
But I didn't rescind my second vote.
would you like to?
Can we discuss this next meeting?
Well, next meeting's gonna be 5 mile long. If we keep putting
What
on.
he's basically saying, Marty, is he wants to hold this and let's look at giving them a raise, not giving them a bonus. Now,
That way they get it yearly rather than one time.
Rather than one
Is it gonna
time.
be in the same time frame?
it is, both of us are still talking the same time frame.
Correct.
I was talking
I'm
23.
thinking
he
the
was talking-
bonus is quicker than the raise. Is it?
Not the motion that I made, it was in 2023. It's next year's budget.
The motion he made was next year's budget.
So does that mean?
That's
if I
when you
rescind my
say.
second, they could get monies just as quick through his. if we
Yeah,
approve it, if
because
we
your
approve it.
second was to his, and his was for next year's budget, so either way, you're looking at next year's budget.
Yeah, both of us looking at
I
next year.
rescind my second.
All right, so
I'll
we have a
rescind my
motion on the floor, Mr. Glover, repeat it.
I'd like to make a motion that we go before the county commission and ask for help giving our teachers a raise for the next year's budget.
When the appropriate
Appropriate time.
budgetary hearings are going on.
Correct.
So you heard his motion. Do I have a second?
Everybody, not just teachers, everybody.
Every employee,
Staff.
All staff.
all staff.
I second.
So Mr. McCaleb has seconded that.
And we have not been before the county commission for 15 years or more to ask for any money.
Nope. I
We've
believe
worked on our
my,
budget, and I feel as if it's time to do so.
I believe my uncle was the last individual to do that. And that has been 15 at least years.
And I will promise you and promise the teachers and the people that I will be there at the county commission to stand up for them.
I think they deserve our due diligence in just that, no matter where it falls. All right, there's a motion and a second. Let's move forward. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, folks. New business D, COVID-19 leave. This was in your work session as well.
I
Mr.
believe
Manning.
we was gonna try to table this motion, till next month, where he can give us a,
If you give me permission, I will try to, not that you can tweak it as you see needed, but we can come up with an outline of basically helping the people that we had done, you know, even looking back to the people that didn't have any sick days.
Correct.
You know, to people that had 100, and then from this point forward, setting a policy. I'll give you some different options, and we can choose out of that and go from there.
I don't have any disagreement with that, do any of y'all?
No.
Everybody good? Thank you, sir.
Who's a second?
Who seconded it?
I'll second.
we can vote on it, table it.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Discussion on the COVID update. All y'all had a chance to look at that.
Her numbers are excellent, tickled to death at where we're at right now. You know what, we still know it's serious, we still know, we look around and see the people that's struggling with it. I think there's a lot goes into that. I think we've got better with our chemicals, sanitation, social distancing. A lot of our teachers, again, and our parents have done a good job. We do as much as we can. You know, obviously you can't put 35 students in a classroom and get 6 foot apart, but I do think that we're doing a much better job coming in behind them and cleaning and so on. If you saw the numbers, we were thrilled today. We had 8 total cases. We hadn't had that in, I don't know when. 7 students and 1 employee, and only had 25 exposures. So that's pretty unreal for the school system. The county's probably about double where we were still out last year. I think we're at 104 last night. I don't know what, I haven't seen the dates yet, but that's still pretty high numbers for a county our size. But the school itself, I'm thrilled with where we're at. I wouldn't have thought we would have been here.
Well, I'll say this, our staff members are educators in the school systems. I mean, we have mechanics and whatnot, but in the classrooms and things, they're educators by trade. However, well, they've taken on a lot with this COVID-19 and managed through it very well and taking care of our children and things. So that's just one more reason for us to speak with the county commission about this. They've worked mighty hard. They've worn multiple hats.
Absolutely.
Anybody else? All right, Mr. Winkler, is there a need for an executive session?
No, sir.
All right, I would like to say one thing before I entertain a motion to adjourn, because we've talked a lot tonight. For my part, gentlemen, and while some of this is kind of drug on, for me personally, I just want to express my appreciation for all of you and the back and forth and the questions and things that you asked about all of the things that we've addressed tonight. These are important. It's confusing to me too. But it's a passion that every one of you have, and it comes from honesty and integrity and wanting to do what you think is right for the people in our school system and our children. And I just personally feel the need to say that to you. I'm grateful for that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.